duration of this session, I'm not going to ask you to make one decision. So if you've been a busy mum or a busy dad or a busy brother or sister making decisions all day, I want this to be a gift that is a gift of time and space for you. I'll mind the time. I'll lead the meditation. And that will just allow you to breathe and to relax and disconnect from the people around you and disconnect from the things that normally take your attention. And tonight we're going to turn that gaze inward into our breath and into our heart. And we're going to open up our heart and we're going to open up our minds. And a word I'm going to be using quite a bit tonight is the word surrender. And we are going to surrender into the now, into the moment. But surrendering doesn't come naturally to human beings because we like to be in control. We like to predict. So I'm going to be asking to surrender for the next 20 minutes. The need to know the time, I'll mind the time. Surrender the need to think about anybody else but you and your breath and your heart. People who know my work will know that I take my inspirations from science and from spirituality, from medicine, from philosophy, and from physics. Because I don't believe the answer to any question is in one particular area. I think when we start to put them all together, we see a much more complete and a much bigger picture of our world and ourselves. Neither do I put all my faith in one form of religion or one doctrine. I believe that each faith, that each religion has meaning and purpose and riches that we can learn from. And I also believe that each religion, each philosophy, psychology and spirituality, and even now quantum physics, in fact, we're all saying the same thing. We're just using different language. What are the universal truths we know? The one reference I want to make tonight is it is Good Friday. And in the Christian tradition, which is a powerful tradition, it's a really important day. And it's a day that connects with a lot of maybe what we're feeling ourselves at the moment. When we think of Jesus, or sometimes we think Jesus was this all-knowing, all-powerful being that walked around and always knew the answer. But when we read the Gospel of Jesus and almost forget about his divinity, when we read the stories of Jesus, we see a very human Jesus who, just like us, suffered from fear and anxiety and self-doubt. And you can't read any of the Gospels without seeing a really human Jesus. But a human Jesus that somehow was guided by two powerful forces. One was his mother, who at the age of 9 or 10 asked him the most amazing question. She asked him, "Do you not know who you are?" And she knew that as his mother, she knew there was something rare, something special, something different. She saw it in his eyes, she saw it in his soul. But she also knew that the more he brought his soul alive, the more he followed the message in his heart, she knew that that would ultimately make her have to surrender him to a higher cause. And you can imagine as a mother how difficult that was, to allow your child to pursue and to grow in a way where you knew ultimately you would lose him. But she found that strength and she found that faith to allow him not be what she wanted him to be, but to allow him to be who he needed to be. Sometimes the story of Mary in the gospel gets overlooked. I think sometimes if there was a divine, she was the divine, guiding, coaching, never forcing, never pushing, never telling, but asking amazing questions. And it started with, do you not know who you are? And a number of years later, on Good Friday, when Jesus was about to be crucified, he was given a chance to walk away in safety and go back to his old life. And Herod said, I think you're a madman. Tell the people what you're saying is wrong. Tell them you're a liar, and I let you go free. And in that time, since his mother asked him that incredible question, do you not know who you are? Jesus looks at Herod and he says, that is who you say that I am, but now I know who I am, and I know what I have to say. You have to do what you have to do, but I have to be who I have to be. And all the time we see Jesus who didn't get angry, who didn't resist, who embraced. As a human being, somehow found the courage to let go and surrender. And we are being asked now to let go and surrender to things like our plans that we thought we would be doing in these weeks. We are being asked to let go of old ways of living. We are being asked to let go of things that we thought was going to happen, and now they won't. Some of us are being asked to let go of our jobs, our source of income. And that is frightening. And when I ask, and when I get scared, I ask for, what would a person like Jesus have done? With that faith. And we all can have different faiths, and we can have faiths in the divine, or we can have faith simply in ourselves. And now more than ever, we are being asked to have faith in ourselves. We are being asked to surrender the need to control, and the need to predict, and the need to understand. And we are being asked to walk a path of uncertainty and unknowing. But we are not being asked to walk that path alone. With faith in ourselves, with faith in the people we love, the path is never alone. And when we begin to focus on what's in our heart and not what's outside our door, we begin to realize what's in our heart is actually something more important and more beautiful than we could ever have imagined. Maybe in our whole life we've been so distracted by what's outside our door, distracted by other people, distracted by the jobs we do, distracted by external sources, that we've never had the time to step back into our heart and see what is there. The love, the kindness, the compassion. And when we step in and we discover an inner world of kindness and compassion, we realize that that is enough. And whatever path lies ahead, whatever weeks I have to walk in the weeks ahead, if I can walk it with kindness and compassion, it will be enough. And when a new reality appears, I will accept it for what it is. When we surrender the need for the reality to be what we thought it would be, we can now put our faith in the moment. We can ask ourselves, the things that I'm worrying about, Are they actually happening, or are they simply something that's running in my mind, a story? And is that story born out of love or born out of fear? Is it born out of faith, or is it born out of fear? And what would a different story look like? What would a story out of faith look like? Can you tell yourself that story? And we're being asked to sit comfortably in the space between the no longer and the not yet. Good Friday was the beginning of rebirth. The process we're going through now is the beginning of rebirth, which is a chance for you to resurrect parts of yourself that you have abandoned and left behind. Parts of you that have been stagnant, dreams, wishes, ambitions, love, fun. And it is also a chance for you to let go of things that no longer serve you. In this time of uncertainty, you are the great known. In this time of unknowing, your heart is what you know. And in times of darkness, you are the light. But do you believe it? Do you not know who you are? And this may be the greatest time of resurrection, where we all have the gift to ask ourselves, what part of my old self, my old life, my old way of thinking am I ready to let go? And when I get reborn, what do I look like? What will I have more of in my life? What will I celebrate more? And will I have the courage to follow my heart? Even if that is to follow a heart means that we walk a path of uncertainty. But when we trust in ourselves, when we trust in the universe and we trust in the divine, every path illuminates. And we close our eyes, or we focus on the candle, and we start with some nice deep breaths. And now we become the observer of our thoughts, not the victims. I just want you to observe your own thoughts. Observe your own emotions. What is it that I feel? And be at peace with whatever emotion that is right now. Be at peace. Breathe it in and breathe it out. There is a reason why Jesus suffered every emotion, to teach us that no emotion is wrong. Whatever emotion you're feeling tonight, don't judge it, accept it. And also know that you can change it. And we take 5 deep breaths and we breathe that emotion out of our body. We soften the stories in our mind, we soften our body language. We let our shoulders fall, we let our breath slow. And we surrender into the now. We surrender into the moment with faith and love. And we breathe, and as we continue to slow and soften our breath, we soften our body language. And we slowly place our right hand on our heart. And we realize that your heart is still beating. There is life. There is a soul. There is a spirit. And it is you. You are not your body. You are not that which lies outside of you. You are your breath. You are what you are choosing to focus on. And as long as you have a heart and a spirit, all things are possible. And we slowly build that breath so every inhale expands into the heart, opening that incredible heart. Focusing more and more on that incredible heart and the love, the passion and compassion that floods through that heart. And the more we focus on bringing our breath and bringing the oxygen to our heart, is the more we allow the brain to shut off, to shut down. And we switch from fear to love. And we breathe. Breathe in the divine. Whatever your divine is, whatever you believe made or created this incredible universe, is waiting to be welcomed by you. Can you make a home for the divine in your heart? Can you allow your spirit to be flooded with the spirit of the divine? And can you allow the light of the divine to flood through you right now? Can you imagine the light of the divine flowing out through your body, illuminating the world and the room around you? Can you welcome in that light? Can you welcome in that breath? And can you trust that as long as you are connected to that breath and that light, then you will be okay? When we allow the light of the divine to flood through our system, we realize there is nothing more we need. And as we close our eyes and continue to breathe, we're reminded that Jesus was stripped of all his possessions, but not once did he cling to them or fight for them. He let them go because he knew his value, he knew his worth had nothing to do with his possessions. And the more they stripped away his clothes and possessions, the more there was nothing to focus on but his eyes and his soul. And the more they stripped away his human possessions, the more he welcomed into the divine light. And the more worldly possessions that was taken away, was the stronger he became. What are you holding on to? What are you clinging to? What are you not allowing to leave? But in fact, it is time for that to leave. The more we cling to worldly possessions, jobs, wages, is the more we make that our God. And the more we cling to things outside of us, is the more dim the light of the divine goes inside us. And we continue to breathe. And we realize that in the middle of it, all this uncertainty, when in some ways we are being stripped, our true self is now being revealed and we are coming stronger. We are traveling inward to discover who we were and who we are. We are gaining the courage through the divine to let go of everything that needs to be surrendered now. And we allow anger and resistance to be replaced with kindness and compassion. And as we breathe, with every exhale, we breathe out fear. We breathe out shame. We breathe out guilt. We breathe out the need to control, and with each big exhale we push those things away from us. They are no longer part of us. And with each inhale we breathe in the divine. We breathe in faith. We breathe in acceptance, non-judgment, and non-striving. We continue to breathe. We continue to feel that incredibly strong heart become stronger. We continue to feel the light of the divine flow in through our mind, through our heads, flooding our whole system. The more we feel loved, the more we feel connected, is the more of body our system floods in oxytocin. It changes us physically, physiologically, biochemically. When we switch and choose love, there is no place for fear. And we start to focus on the people and things that we love right now. And we allow the visions, the memories of the people we love to flow through our system. And instead of focusing on what we don't have, we express gratitude for the tiny things and incredible people that we have in our life. As you breathe, who do you want to express gratitude for? If you have food, if you have a bed to sleep in, if you have the divine in your heart, right now, you have enough. And we bring our mind, our thoughts and emotions right into this moment. And I want you to slowly repeat, I am safe. I am loved. I am loving. I am the light. I am safe. I am loved. I am the light. surrendering the need to know and the need to control. We surrender to this moment, to this breath, and one breath at a time, we fill our heart with love and light and faith and trust, knowing that love is always the answer. And we breathe. And we remember the human Jesus who faced every challenge, including death, but did so with compassion and kindness, non-judgment, because somehow, somewhere in his heart, he was connected to something else. He could let go and surrender. And by surrendering, not fighting, by surrendering, he became one of the most powerful figures the world has ever known. What is it that you need to surrender to tonight? What is the one thing that you will give yourself the gift of surrendering to now? And with light and love in our hearts, we trust that it is enough. And we surrender to the moment. And we breathe. We fill that big heart with breath and love. We soften the body language. We let the shoulders fall. We let the chest relax. And here in this moment, with our breath and our spirit, we are enough. There is nothing that we need. And whatever path lies ahead, we will face it with hope, with faith and compassion. And we will take it one moment at a time, one day at a time, filling each day with as much gratitude as we can, filling each moment with as much love as we can. And love and gratitude will see us through. And we finish with 3 deep breaths. And we surrender into the moment. And as we open our eyes, we join our hands at the center of our chest. And we bring together our mind, our body and our spirit. We rest a little more easy. We trust in that incredible question. Do you not know who you are? Do you not know the light that is in your heart? And when you allow the faith and light of your heart to shine, everything will illuminate. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you take some little things away that you can use for the next period. I wish you all a very happy Easter and a happy rebirth. And in the middle of it all, remember, you are the known, you are the controllable, and you are the divine. Namaste. Happy Easter.